At small forward, Brandon Rush. At center, Andrew Robertson. At shooting guard, Klay Thompson. At the other forward position, Draymond Green. At the other guard position, Stephen Curry. The head coach of the visiting team is Steve Kerr. Shooting guard at 6'6", number 0, CJ Miles. Starting at the other guard at 6'3", number 11, Monte Ellis. Number 3, the hometown hero, George Hill. At the small forward position, standing 6'8", number 13, Paul George. Your home team head coach is Frank Vogel. Let's hear it for your Indiana Pacers.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Along with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. And here we go, the battle between conferences. It's East versus West, where the Indiana Pacers will be looking to make a statement. This game against Golden State is the first time they've met this season. A year ago, they each gained a victory at home, but couldn't secure a win on the road.
Yeah, really a rare treat for the fans. The only time they'll get to see this matchup all season.
Inter-conference action here. 2 games in all between these two teams. It'll be fun to watch.
And now the Golden State Warriors starters. Green at the 4 with Bogut at the 5. The Splash Brothers are the guards. And it's Rush in at the small forward position. Count the bucket. There are very few players you can call game changers on offense, but Clark, Stephen Curry is clearly one of them.
Well, the plus-minus for the Warriors with him on and off the court validates that. It's incredible how much better they are offensively when he's on the floor.
And it's George finishing it off.
They think that kind of defense is going to get it done against him. They're mistaken.
Here's the Warriors with the ball. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
And they ran their offense nearly to perfection in that one. Very few possessions were wasted.
Yeah, they put the mute button on them that time. I mean, in front of a hostile crowd, they never let the fans get going. They silenced them over and over again with big, timely shots.
And here is Hill after the three-pointer from Klay Thompson. Curry kicks to Thompson. Back to Curry. Screen by Bogut. Ellis against Curry. Bogut. Hill pulls it in.
And Steph Curry, with his deep range and lightning quick release, really unique to our league. And the double clutch layup in that situation, that's just him playing to the crowd, guys.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Well, Steve Kerr had a few moments to share with me. And of course, he said a big key for them will be trying to minimize Monte Ellis' impact offensively. He added, he's one of the best in the league at blowing by his defender and finishing at the rim. We've got to force him left, And then, at the other end, make sure we go at him defensively and see that he expends some energy there as well. Kevin, defense not Ellis' strong suit. Seems like a smart plan.
Thank you, Doris.
And speaking of Curry, guys, that quick slingshot. Whoa! And how about the execution on that play? The screen was set up in exactly the right spot.
And the finish wasn't too bad either.
Perfectly designed and perfectly executed.
Oh, that was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Kia. Here's Curry following the score by Indiana. And again, no good by Golden State.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
In the corner, George with it. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket.
Yeah, great look, but disappointing with a miss.
Boy, what happened on that one, Greg? I mean, that's almost an automatic shot for him.
Not good shot selection. Long range and the defender all up in your jersey.
And, you know, that's just the kind of defensive work he's known for. I mean, he can take that shot away from you and does it more times than not.
Now here's Ellis. He provides a good amount of offense for the team, averaging around 11.5 points a game. Has to rush. Feeds to Bogut. Pass to Rush. Bogut against George. Golden State moving it around. And Green gets it to go.
The second he got around the pick and shook his man, it was straight to the bucket for the easy deuce. Very, very well done.
Hill passes to Mahimi. Pick up by Hill. Mahimi dishes to Ellis. Off the screen. And it's Mahimi finishing it off.
And it was the screen there, guys, that freed him up as he ran his man into it.
And then it was all acceleration, GA, to the bucket right after that.
Almost a backboard breaker.
Green with a screen on Ellis. Fires from deep. Curry can't get it to go. Pacers have gone 50% from the field at this point, 4 of 8. Here's George. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket. For Indiana, they come into this one following a loss to the Utah Jazz.
And you guys know how much I love aggressive defense, but in that game, they were just a bit over the top, and it wound up getting them in foul trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was not just aggressive, it was reckless. I mean, they approached it more like bumper cars than a game of basketball. You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
Green, no luck.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, you hope that's not indicative of the type of D they're going to play, because if they do, they're going to have struggles with him tonight. And that putback about as easy a bucket as you're going to get.
Exactly what happens when you don't box out, Greg.
Now here's Curry. He's coming off a 28-point game against the Nets in Brooklyn. As for those dry spells you mentioned about the Pacers, GA, they had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
Golden State's gotten just 2 of 6 to fall from three-point range so far in the first. A shot. Again, Curry missing. It's stolen by Green. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
No clue how he got that one to fall.
And that was not a soft foul he had to get through, Greg. I mean, he had to really power that one up and in.
The Pacers making a change here. Allen's checked in. The Warriors also with a sub. Azili's checked in. The Warriors shooting their first foul shot of the night.
And it's been an average year, really, at the free throw line for this group, only around 75%.
Guys, their free throw shooting has slipped a bit since last year, but not really to the point where they should be overly concerned about it.
Pacers trail by 3. George with the screen on Curry. George up top. He's covered by Thompson. And the rejection by Ezeli. 5 to shoot. George, that's a two-pointer. Nice 4 for 7 from the floor with that shot.
He's having quite the quarter here, guys. I mean, shooting the ball extremely well.
It's Curry with the drive. That ball is in the basket. Now he's shot 6 and made 3 of them. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Warriors.
You know, they've done a great job of getting a hand up on shooters. Actually have gotten a lot of blocks as well, solidifying that defensive effort.
Yeah, and one thing, Clark, I've noticed is how quick their hands have been tonight. Thanks to that, they've gotten a lot of points off of turnover.
Here is Miles following the basket by Stephen Curry. Shot from the top of the key. Takes a big high bounce and goes in. Miles has got his first points of the game. Warriors have gone an even 50% from the field. They are 7 of 14 for the game. And for C.J. Miles, he sure can string together a long line of threes under the league with a nice jump shot that has now become deadly.
Yeah, he doesn't get to the free throw line much, and he's not really much of a playmaker, but he's 3D in color. HD 3D.
And so here is Golden State. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. And Rush kicks to Thompson. And he gets the bucket.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Clearly, they've been the aggressors thus far when it comes to attacking the interior in this first half.
Now here is Hill. He's coming off a 10-point game against Utah.
Yeah, not to mention the 4 big steals on the night, getting after it on both ends.
And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more. And it goes on Draymond Green. And some changes here for the Pacers. Jordan Hill, he's checked in for C.J. Miles. Budinger comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's subbed in for Monte Ellis. Different look here for the Warriors. Spates checked in for Draymond Green. Iguodala comes in for Brandon Rush. Leandro Barbosa, he's checked in for Thompson. And it's Livingston in for Steph Curry. Now here's Iguodala. He gives a bit of a scoring lift to the team, averaging 8 points a game. Stuckey kicks to Hill, and the rejection by Iguodala. And the officials now calling the shooting foul. He got a lot of ball on the block, but also got the body, so some free throws coming up right now. For Indiana, they have shot just 1 free throw earlier, 1 for 1 in the game.
And 75% on the season as a unit from the free throw line.
Gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good.
You know, it's really quite amazing when you look at Chase Budinger. I mean, statistically, he was the same player last year as when he was a rookie across every category, even smaller categories like steals and blocks, almost identical output 5 seasons apart.
So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Yeah, the half and half balls are going their way, and that's really a function of effort and intensity. You know, the ball doesn't discriminate. Whoever goes and gets it, that's who owns it.
And going back to Chase Budinger, a terrific athlete with a plus shooting stroke. He definitely has some talent, but Greg, his inability to play consistent defense and his subpar ball handling have capped his career minutes at around 20 a game.
Yeah, and that's why he was a second-round pick way back when. I mean, scouts knew he was a somewhat talented player, but just not a complete one.
Now, here is Hill. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. They set the pick. The dish to Hill. Nobody near Allen. Indiana again missing. Warriors leading by 3. The drive by Iguodala. It's hauled in by Budinger.
Boy, I tell you what, guys, he's an extremely strong finisher. I'm surprised he wasn't able to power that through the defense.
Wants to get it to Hill, and does. Well, for Jordan Hill, something wonderful happened to him last season. The breakthrough he'd been waiting for on his 6th year.
Yeah, Kevin, you know, it had to do, and I think correlated with him getting a chance to start games, and it blew up for him from there, posting career-high averages across the board.
This is his first chance at the line tonight.
2 shots.
And he makes the first. Both free throws good from Hill. Here is Livingston. He's averaging a bit over 5 points a game. Shot from free throw range. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Livingston's got his first 2 points of the night.
And getting back to Jordan Hill, everyone had been waiting for this. I mean, greater activity, more aggressiveness, and he puts up career highs in points, rebounds, and assists.
Now here is Hill. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And the layup's good off the glass.
And that's his strong suit, the ability to find his way through the D and finish at the rim.
The Warriors lead it.
On the topic of Jordan Hill, hey, there aren't many guys like him with his size who can move that well. He's entering the prime of his career right now. Will he continue to ascend, or will he be content with where he's at? Time will tell.
On its way from Barbosa for 2. Excellent D there from Allen.
They got a narrow edge here in rebounding early on. You wonder how much that'll play going forward.
Yeah, it's a game of inches, and every play counts.
Now here is Hill. He's making his presence felt offensively with his scoring average up there at almost 13 points a game. 4 on the clock. Keeps it alive, and it's Spates with the rebound. The Warriors shooting pretty efficiently out there. It is in 48% in the first quarter. Stuckey against Iguodala. For 3, Barbosa. That drops.
That feed by Iguodala, a really good example of his passing ability.
Pacers trail by 4. And the pass to Stuckey. Hill sets the screen for Stuckey. To the inside. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
How about the concentration? He gets hit but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Innovation and improvisation right there, Greg. Finding a way to get that shot to fall after taking the contact.
One shot. One shot.
And the free throw, no good.
And really, the Warriors had an amazing regular season last year. Just from a historical standpoint, it was one of the best ever.
Now here's Budinger. He averages about 5 points a game. Hill sets the screen for Hill. Passes it to Hill. That doesn't go on the chance to tie.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
You know, what an advantage he brings to this offense, guys. I mean, being able to drain the 3-ball, that really can spread a defense and extend the defense as well.
And that concludes the first quarter of play. Warriors lead by 5. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. Talk to Monte Ellis. He says he feeds off his doubters. He loves to hear someone say what he can't do.
I think I had that all my life. I always have to prove somebody wrong, and still to this day, that's just the competitiveness that I believe my oldest brother built into me when I was little.
And Monte Ellis is still trying to prove people wrong now in Dallas after their quick exit from the playoffs a season ago. Clark, it's been a decade in the league now for this very talented guard.
And that kind of relentless determination is really something Monte is known for, and one of the reasons he has been around for 10 years in the NBA as a consistently good player and lethal scorer.
And welcome back to the NBA on 2K Sports. More action in store as the players get ready to go, having a nice break to get hydrated with Gatorade. And the Warriors, guys, what jumps out to you in this game stats-wise?
I tell you what, the scoring has come in threes for the most part here so far.
Every time down the floor, it seems they're knocking down the triple.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. Setting the floor for the Warriors. The defensive stalwarts, Green and Bogut, are down low. On the wing, Thompson and Iguodala. And it's Curry in at the point.
That was the third straight high percentage look this defense has allowed. I mean, these defenders have got to start bumping bodies in the paint. Be more physical, be more aggressive.
The game's just far too easy right now when it comes to attacking the basket. They have got to do better.
Thompson misses.
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
Yeah, come on now. You got to remember it's a team game. He's got 4 teammates out there with him. I don't think he needs to try to do it all by himself like that.
Indiana shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here.
At the line for 2.
First one falls for him. Well, the Pacers, despite all their injuries from last season, were right in the playoff hunt until the very end. Had a chance, in fact, GA, on the last day to sneak in, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, they needed a Brooklyn loss to go along with them winning that last game. Ultimately, though, it wasn't in the cards for them, and they ended a game out of the postseason.
No good on the second free throw.
And, the Pacers had made the playoffs in each of the last 4 seasons prior to last year's miss. Hard for a team that was coming off of back-to-back conference finals appearances to stomach that. But with the injuries, they'll be better and back in the playoffs next year, I'm sure.
Here's Stuckey. 23 points for him the last game against the Utah Jazz. Here's George, and he takes the feed in stride and slams it home.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
And really, it's going to be more of a reload than a rebuild situation for the Pacers. You would have to imagine their goal isn't just to get back to the playoffs, but to get back to being a conference final participant.
Here is Stuckey. Andrew Bogut making his last shot. Stuckey into the lane. Dishes it to Mahinmi. Warriors with the rebound.
Yeah, but you have to love that tough interior defense.
And, Greg, that's exactly what he gives you. I mean, he's constantly making his presence felt around the rim.
Stuckey passes to Ellis. Back to Stuckey. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Mahinmi's shot is good.
I think when you've got somebody that open on the perimeter, a good shooter, the kick-out's the only choice.
Curry with him. 6 points for him. Shot off the screen. Thompson misses.
Good little 2-man action there, but they just can't get the shot to fall.
Yeah, but that was a beauty. Good-looking shot, well-executed play. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to it.
Now here's Stuckey. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. And George, here we go. And that misses. That would have put him up. Warriors have gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. Took him no time at all on that one. Iguodala's got 4 points now in the quarter. The Pacers have gone 4 of 7 from the field in this second quarter so far. Stuckey dishes to George. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. To the paint. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
How about about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin.
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
Monte Ellis has always had a knack for the big shot. When things are on the line, he is a guy that is not afraid to step up.
And Kevin, last season, he had a number of big second halves and fourth quarters for the Mavs. Really took over that primary scoring role from Dirk Nowitzki. Stole a lot of games for them last season.
The 2K leaderboard, a list of the teams that have rebounded the ball tremendously over the last 10 games. In third, the Warriors.
Kevin, that's been a nice run lately. They're making a strong effort on the board, and it's working and paying dividends for them.
Brandon Rush, he's checked in for Andre Iguodala. And here in the second quarter of action as we approach 4 minutes played. Now here's Curry. He's got 6. He dishes it to Thompson. Clock at 6. Some nice passing by Golden State here. 14 feet away. It's rebounded by Ellis. The Pacers have gone 5 of 8 from the floor here in the second quarter. Over 60% shooting. Lets a floater go, and he lays it up and in. Ellis has got his second basket of the night.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
Thompson, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
You remember Klay Thompson's father, Michael Thompson, a former #1 pick out of Minnesota. Growing up, he was the smallest of his brothers and thereby took his lumps when they played hoops. But he said that challenge helped him to develop into the player he is today.
And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Pacers?
They pounded the ball inside in the first half, forcing the D to collapse, and that frees up the shooters going forward.
They also haven't been afraid to take it strong to the hoop early on tonight. I like that.
And so he hits both. And Klay Thompson, born into an athletic family. His father, the former #1 overall pick in the NBA draft. And Clark, his mom, was a Division I volleyball player.
And you know, Thompson, despite those genes, was not a highly recruited player out of high school. Grew up in UCLA's backyard, but ended up playing college ball at Washington State.
For Indiana, they have shot 5 of 8 from the foul line.
One shot, gentlemen.
Mahimi, no good on the free throw.
You know, he didn't get to the line in that entire first quarter. But right now, he's showing some aggressiveness out there.
The Warriors have gone 3 of 7 shooting the ball here in the second quarter. Curry kicks to Rush. The feed to Green. A stupendous finish in traffic. Green's got it all tied up now for the Warriors. The Pacers have gone 7 of 11 from the field in the second quarter. There's a good screen. Ellis kicks to George. It's stolen by Bogut. Left side Curry. Fires from 14. Rebound by Mahimi. Mahimi's got 5 rebounds tonight.
And gotta like what they've been doing down low in the post.
I certainly do. You know, I like to see guys do their work inside. Their rebounding has been excellent, and that's always important in a close game.
The Warriors have gotten a little under 50% of their second quarter shots to find the mark. 4 of 9 all told. Kicks it to Bogut, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Curry.
Taking a look here at the numbers for Curry. He's been fantastic over the last 10 games or so. He's around 30 points per clip, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He has been at his most dynamic, no question about it, a real handful.
Well, he's operating at the highest level right now, one of the truly elite talents in the NBA.
Warriors shooting 44% from the floor since we began the second quarter. Shoots the 3, and that one's good. Curry's got 9.
It is so hard to contain him. He just seems to get it done however he has to do it.
Stuckey passes to George. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. George has got 8 points in the quarter.
I mean, he is tearing the defense apart, and let's face it, they have not brought their A game on that side of the ball.
It's hauled in by George. George has got 4 rebounds in this game. He feeds it to Mahimi. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east. Already we are in December. And take a look at the Cavaliers. Things going their way so far in this season. Right now they lead the pack up front in the first spot with the best record. And of course Indiana, a half game back.
And right now for the Pacers, it has taken no time for them to come together as a team. I mean, no time. There wasn't much being said about them preseason, but now everybody's got them in their radar.
Well, they couldn't have asked for a better start to their campaign. I mean, give credit to the coaching staff for customizing a game plan and system suited to the talent.
George missing again. Golden State's gone 1 of 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Curry dishes to Rush. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a 3-point play.
Yeah, exceptional play there to take the bump and still get it to fall.
I like to call that stick-to-itiveness, Greg. Getting everything he possibly could out of that play. Nicely done.
Good call.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Hill, he's checked in for Mahinmi. Lavoy Allen comes in for C.J. Miles. Chase Budinger, he's checked in for Monte Ellis. And George Hill's subbed in for Rodney Stuckey. Different look here for the Warriors. Bazili's checked in for Bogut. Spates comes in for Draymond Green. Leandro Barbosa, he's checked in for Klay Thompson. And it's Livingston in for Steph Curry. Golden State's gone to the three-pointer 11 times tonight and nailed 5 of them. Barbosa kicks to Spates. There's a good screen. Spates sets a screen. Bazili can't get it to go. For so long, there has been this mindset that Golden State wins through offense, but their defense, you know, Gia, you were talking about this, is where the true strength of this team lies.
I think that's what's really allowed them to separate when you look at the rest of the league. I mean, they led the league in opponents' field goal percentage last season, and some nights the shots weren't falling, but the defense always showed up.
Here's Livingston, and it's good from the elbow. Livingston's got his second basket.
I tell you, he has some impressive moves in his repertoire. That's as good as it gets, but just one of many.
Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
Yeah, but neither team really able to jump ahead.
It reminds me of that cameo song, Back and Forth.
So it's the Warriors now, following the score by Indiana. Pass to Barbosa. And Allen with the block. Hope they get it back. Shot clock at 2. And the shot falls short this time.
Defense needs to play tight on him, and that's exactly what they did to force that miss. Well done.
And George gets it to go.
He's got some serious momentum going right now. He's been great all day. Even last game, he was on fire.
Here is Livingston. And here is Barbosa. He kicks it to Livingston. It's rush outside. The shot misses. And it's the Pacers taking it the other way.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
And George, here we go. Allen passes to George. Allen with the screen for George. At the teardrop, it's rebounded by Livingston.
How about him there, just bodying him up to make him alter the trajectory on that shot?
Definitely some very sound defense played on that trip.
Here is Livingston. And that one's good. Livingston's got his third basket of the night right there. Indiana leading.
Let's see where the Pacers are, Kevin, in terms of the NBA rankings right now. First in points off turnovers. Second in three-point field goal percentage. They also show up as a top 5 team in steals. Young, aggressive, and athletic, getting into the passing lane.
And looking at their ranking in points off turnovers, numero uno. And that's how you demoralize an opponent. Make them pay for every mistake.
Andre Iguodala. He's checked in for the Warriors. Hill dishes to George. And he comes off the screen and slams it through.
Hang time on that rim puts a little whipped cream on that angel food cake there.
It's a tight ball game, and those displays of strength, Clark, can get one team rolling.
Agreed.
And also the other on its heels. Let's see how this one turns out. And guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury, came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
Here is Livingston after Indiana gets the 3. It's stolen by Hill. And up the court come the Pacers on the break. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
1:12 left in the first half. And getting back to George Hill, what a second half of the season he had. He tore up several key categories, Clark.
Yeah, he was bogged down by injuries early in the season. Came back to average career highs in points, rebounds, and assists. Partly because he was finally treated and looked to as a go-to guy, and he thrived in that role.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
All right now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good.
And Maurice Spates last season with the best year of his career. I mean, he shot the cover off the ball and did a nice job on the boards as well.
So he makes 1 of 2 as the second one misses. Greg, you were just talking about Mo Spates. Clark, he has a great mid-range jump shot.
He does, and they actually call him Mo Buckets. But he actually played so well last season, they even threw in Mo VP from time to time.
And it's thrown down hard with both hands.
And That is a major league flush right there, my friends.
And in a tight contest like this, Greg, that might be just what they need to get the tide rolling in their direction.
You're exactly right. I mean, so often when a team gets that kind of explosive play out of its backcourt, that can really rally and galvanize the whole squad.
Here's George. The Warriors making the shot. 5 on the clock. To the middle. Here's Hill. And the Pacers can't get it to go. Here is Livingston. He's guarded by Hill. And so it looks like the Warriors will retain possession here. At the top of the key, Livingston. Here's the screen. Fades. And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game going on here. Pacers out in front. They're up by 3. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Kevin, thank you. Here with Frank Vogel. And, Coach, you've got to be pleased with that first half. The ball was moving. Your guys were sharing. Things were going well for you. What about it pleased you?
Yeah, the game is simple when you make the extra pass, when you play the right way. We started out playing this way. We got to continue it for 4 quarters.
Thank you, Frank. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Doris. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter started.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And an exhilarating first half, to be sure. Welcome back. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be breaking down all the action for you. An outstanding first quarter for Paul George. He had 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And Kenny, what'd you think about what we saw from Indiana?
Well, they're paying attention to the boards, and that's a good thing. When you're trying to get ahead and stay ahead, it often comes down to a few key possessions. Any extra rebounds you can get is a big difference. I like their intensity out there.
Shaq, what are your thoughts on Golden State?
The three-point shot has really, really helped them out. I don't always like to see teams rely on the 3, but when it's dropping like that, I say roll with it. They keep setting good screens, running these pick and rolls, they'll be tough to beat.
That's going to do it for now as the second half is just about ready to get started. We'll see you later.
The start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters.
George having a fantastic game. He has 20 points, and he's also been picking up some nice assists here and there, too.
And Clark, that needs to continue. When he has an opportunity to get an open teammate the ball, he has got to make that a priority.
Indiana leading by 3. C.J. Miles is out there with Paul George. Then it's George Hill. Then it's Ellis. And it's Mahimi in at the 5 down low. So that's the group out there for Indiana. It's deflected. George against Curry. Inside. It's tipped. Stolen by Ellis. Hill kicks to Ellis. It's back to Hill. They set the pick. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Hill's got the first basket of the second half here for the Pacers. Outside Curry. To the middle. Here's Green. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in. And it's 8 points for Draymond Green. And Indiana shooting at 48% from the floor. Looking good. You can point to any number of things, Clark. The Warriors did well last year. Their play on the road being one of them.
Well, the Warriors were exactly road warriors all season long, partner. Hit the ground running and finished with the league best 28 road wins.
Here's Curry. Paul George making his last shot. That's good. And that's 11 points for Steph Curry.
Well, there's not a whole lot you can do about that move. That's just good offense. They were all over him, and he still managed to drain.
Curry against Hill. In the corner, Miles with it. And again, it's Indiana.
Guys, they've had a solid start to the second half offensively. Gotten good looks. They've made 3 out of 4 of them.
Curry against Hill. From 12 feet out. No good off the back of the rim.
You know, they don't score on that shot, but they're going to be happy with those kinds of possessions.
Curry with the steal. Thompson against George. To the left side wing. Curry attacking. Curry with another miss.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
And George kicks to Hill. Feeds it to Ellis. No good on the shot, a bit long that time.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys, but as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
Thompson misses.
Most of the time, that shot will go down. Well, the defenders have to make sure they tag it.
George passes to Hill. This one for 3. It's deflected, but he gets it back. 6 on the shot clock. Second shot opportunity. Here's Mahimi. Kept alive by Indiana.
There's another opportunity, and everything's going right for these guys.
They set the pick. It's stolen by Green. And up the court come the Warriors on the break. Here's Thompson. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And there's a call. It's on Indiana with the foul. Clark, remember a year ago, Klay Thompson was the subject of trade speculation, possibly, in fact, going to the Timberwolves for Kevin Love.
Yeah, in the end, the Warriors stood pat, and it was a controversial decision at that point, but I don't think there's any question it was a pretty good move for the Warriors right now.
And Indiana making a change here. Stuckey's checked in. And the second free throw, good.
And the Warriors, also inking Thompson to that 4-year, $70 million extension. A big show of faith on their part, and it's looking like money well spent.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And now Klay Thompson with deeper pockets, but never one to splurge. His father taught him well. I mean, his rookie year, he drove the family hand-me-down. He bought his next car used, so his focus is clearly on the game, not the glitz and glamour. You know, I can think of one way to describe George Hill. It's the culmination of several attributes. I mean, he comes from the school of Popovich, plays under control, always in the right place defensively. The way I describe him is just steady.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws. An interesting thing about George Hill, he was traded from the Spurs to the Pacers a few years back. Many people were surprised the Spurs would even trade a valuable veteran when they were trying to win a championship. But who did they trade him for? Kawhi Leonard. $200. A pretty good deal.
Well, you know, Hill is really solid. He knocks down open shots, can run the offense or play off the ball equally well. I think he's a terrific combo guard. Gives you a little bit of everything and does it in a professional way. And that's typically what attracts him to other teams.
You know, he just, like every other coach, can't stand when the defense gives up points on the inside. And boy, are they struggling in there.
Yeah, well, they're getting pummeled in there. So you've got to figure out a way to make some adjustments to try to change that around. And that's why he needed the timeout.
Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. Pass to Bogut. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Curry's got assist number 7 for him tonight. Indiana leading by 4. Now Hill. He's got 8. Ellis outside. And that's an air ball. Not even close. The Warriors have gone 3 of 6 in the third quarter. 50% from the field. Outside, Green. Shoots off the step back. Rebound by Mahinmi.
The defense did a really good job of choking off the middle there once he got inside.
In the corner, Stuckey with it. From deep. Draymond Green pulls it in.
Boy, even though he missed, you can't give up that kind of a look very often.
Better to be lucky than good sometimes. Fortunately, they didn't get burned on that one.
That's good.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Down low, here's Mahinmi. That ball is good for another field goal. His 6th. He is 6 for 9 on the stat sheet.
Guys, his consistency in terms of shooting has really helped them seize control.
Curry against Hill. Thompson dishes to Bogut. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
And guys, this game won't be close for long if they keep giving up dunks like that.
No, it won't, G.A. You're right. A glaring error defensively and letting him get all the way to the basket that time.
But it's only 2 points. I mean, it was flashy, no doubt, but still, it only counts for 2. 2 is all.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
And the wide open shot from Green. Green missing again. Indiana's gone 0-2 from deep to start things here in the second half. And it's Ellis penetrating. No good.
Nothing seems to be going down for him today.
Here's Curry. He's got 11. Bogut with a screen on Ellis. Here's Thompson. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. And now look at the teams that have shot the ball the best over the course of the last month. The Warriors, number 1.
And really, the basketball IQ has just evolved. Just the way they move the ball and share it. They always find good looks.
No good on that one.
Checking out the game Klay Thompson is having. He has 8 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
You know what, though, Clark? It wouldn't be a bad idea going forward to try to let him do a little more damage from beyond the arc.
Jordan Hill, he's checked in for Indiana. Budinger comes in for Ellis. And then for Golden State, Azili comes in for Andrew Bogut. And it's Iguodala in for Brandon Rush. That one drops. He ties it up.
Yeah, look, you'd like to take the lead on that possession, but at least he was able to tie the game up.
On the wing, Stuckey. Pick up by Hill. Hill sets the screen for Stuckey. The dish to Budinger. Basket is good. The assist from Stuckey. Stuckey's got 4 assists in the game.
And what a first year it was for Steve Kerr and the Warriors. It was the best debut as a new coach ever. 67 wins. He also established a franchise win total in his first year.
Now Stuckey after the missed 3 from Stephen Curry. Stuckey outside. Hill a screen on Iguodala. Stuckey drives inside. A nice pick right there to get him right to the rack.
And did you see the screen that was set for him? I mean, that was how he got to the hoop.
It was the classic screenplay. It won't show up in the box score, but that screen deserves an assist.
Absolutely, Kevin. I mean, that took the defender right out of the play. I'm not sure who was supposed to pick him up, but somebody's going to get an earful from the coach for leaving him that wide open.
Curry against Hill. And Miles kicks to Hill. 6 to shoot from the arc. And Indiana, another 3.
Really in a good position thanks to the accuracy from beyond.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, you got it real right. They are lighting it up from beyond the arc this half.
Well, he had 1 3-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs.
Back to Stuckey. And the basket good. Now it's a 7-point Indiana lead.
I've really appreciated their activity in the post today. I mean, their movement down low has been great.
Oh, that's right on the money. They've generated a lot of easy opportunities on the inside.
Azili can't get it to go. Indiana's gone into the 3-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. All alone. It's rebounded by Golden State. Green's got 4 rebounds in this game. And the shot is good. And it's 13 points for Steph Curry.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
Hill against Curry. Hill passes to Miles. Outside Hill. The pass to Miles. On its way from Stuckey for 2. That's short off the rim.
Well, that's a very low percentage shot. Not good basketball at all. One he probably should have passed on.
There's a screen. It's Iguodala with the drive, and that one's good. Iguodala's got 6. And so it's Indiana with it. It's a 3-point game.
Stats for Thompson. How last month turned out for him, averaging about 18 points per, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Just solid all-around performances we've been seeing from him, delivering night in and night out.
And you know, that's what stars do. It isn't always about scoring 50 points. It's about making plays consistently.
Lavoy Allen's checked in for C.J. Miles. And then for Golden State, Spates checked in for Green. Barbosa comes in for Klay Thompson. And it's Livingston in for Curry. And Hill throws it down.
Signature slam right there from the big fella. How many of those have we seen before?
Out to the wing. Allen against Spates. Passes it to Barbosa. Goes up at the stripe. And off the front iron. And in it goes. Barbosa's got 5 now.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
That is a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yeah, he was on the money, that's no doubt. Now here's Iguodala. 6 points for him. Bazili inside. He's guarded by Hill. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. Everyone knows about the Paul George injury from last year and how it affected the Pacers. He said almost the entire season, and there was no doubt they missed it.
Yeah, and when George came back, Kevin, the Pacers got hot, but they had to put him on a minutes limit. And it wasn't just George, though. The team as a whole had a lot of injuries during the course of the season.
And, you know, as you said, the Pacers did have problems with injuries. The team roster missed 219 games due to injury. So compare that to the 69 games missed by the Pacers in 2014. Big difference.
George is checked in for the Pacers. Second free throw, no good.
And really, guys, the most telling part of the Pacers' injury troubles was this. Had to use 15 different starting lineups over the course of the season. Just hard to stay consistent and competitive when you are always replacing an injured player in the lineup.
Iguodala's drive. No good. That would have tied it. Indiana leading. Outside Hill. Pick up by Hill. Hill kicks to Allen. Lots of room. And that one's good. Allen's got 9 points.
Obviously, a mix-up defensively on that possession.
Here is Livingston. He's guarded by Hill. Livingston dishes to Azili. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. And for Festus Ezeli, came in as an extremely raw prospect a couple years back. Late first-round draft pick. His minutes were down actually last season, but his production was decidedly up.
Yeah, he went from 44 to 55% on field goals, from 53 to 63% on free throws. A testament to how much effort he's putting into developing that shooting stroke. And they're having a lot of trouble at the line today, and unfortunately, it's the kind of day we've seen this team have a lot.
That misses, so he splits the free throws.
And, you know, going back to Ezeli, impressive physically, 7 foot, 7'6" wingspan, 5% body fat. If his skill set ever catches up with his natural gift, watch out, watch out.
Warriors trail by 3.
I like the move to go 2 for 1 here.
So do I, Greg. I mean, I agree with you. They need to get a quick look and then try to get another possession after that.
And a footnote to Ezeli, one of his college administrators raved about his intelligence. He cited Ezeli's broad perspective on world trade, globalization, and I tell you what, if Ezeli keeps improving, he'll soon be a serious benefactor of the economics of American sports.
When you think about Sean Livingston, you think about the career that might have been an absolute rising star after being taken Clark 4th back in the 2004 draft.
Kevin, he was averaging over 5 assists a game as a teenager, and his shot was improving every year. Then the devastating knee injury. Just great to see him back playing basketball.
Good on the second free throw.
And getting back to Livingston, he's had comeback after comeback. I mean, each time he'd start to flash those unbelievable movement skills, he'd get injured again. It's a shame because he was on the path to becoming one of the game's great young point guards.
Here is Livingston. He's got 9. 5 on the clock. Inside. Changes up. And it's sent back by Hill.
And if they're smart, they can hold it for the last shot.
To me, that's got to be the target. Make sure you manage the clock effectively so you do get the last shot.
Outside, George. No good on that last second attempt there. We're at the end of the third, and we've still got a close one. Pacers lead by 2. And we're coming back in just a moment. Get ready for the fourth quarter of action when we return. Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. Here's Barbosa on the court for Golden State here in the fourth. Thompson and Iguodala on the perimeter. Green at the 4 with Bogut at the 5. And it's Barbosa in at the point guard position.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
And the Pacers shooting reasonably well, 45%. And George, here we go. Good. George has got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for the Pacers.
Well, that's simply a great move there, Kevin. He dusted off the defense and got to the cup for the easy basket.
Count it, and the Pacer lead has been cut down to 2 on the bucket from Green.
That kind of power move has become a trademark of his.
Ellis kicks to George. Baseline jumper. That doesn't go either for George. Golden State's gone outside a lot tonight. 17 times, in fact. 7 of 17. There's Green with the 3. Green missing again. And so it's Indiana with it. Ellis the pass to George. Ellis down low. It's up against Thompson. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That one on Thompson.
First off, look, every year there are all-star game snubs, and perhaps last year Monte Ellis was the big one in the West. Hard to leave him off given the way he played for the Mavs.
And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Pacers?
Well, I got to say, one thing that stuck out all game is the consistent penetration they've got.
Yeah, but I also like the balance because they're doing a great job of getting inside and converting around the rim. I really like their aggressiveness.
The Pacers making a switch here. Stuckey's checked in. Then for the Warriors, Brandon Rush. He's checked in for Iguodala. And Curry subbed in for Leandro Barbosa. And he makes both free throws. For Monte not being an all-star, there are a lot of guys that could have made an argument to be there. Monte's was as strong as any.
Yeah, and his own coach said that Monte deserved it more than Dirk, his teammate. And not a shot at Dirk by Carlisle, just Rick expressing how valuable Monte was to the Mavs.
6 on the shot clock. It's Curry outside. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. 16 points for Steph Curry.
And he had 1 in the first as well. He can be dangerous. Keep an eye on him.
George against Thompson. George dishes to Ellis. And that's off the glass and in. Ellis has got 4 points this quarter.
You know what? They're winning, though, despite the fact that he has just been really off.
Outside Curry. Bogut sets a screen for Thompson to tie it up. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. Mahinmi's got 10 rebounds here tonight. So active. Stuckey against Curry. Stuckey kicks to George. And the rebound goes to the Warriors. They'll be off to Boston for a meeting with the Celtics after this one. And I'm sure they're anxious to get back home as that will be game 6 of this 7-game road trip. Ellis the pass to Miles. George with the ball. And that one hits back iron.
Not the best shot right there with a good defender draped all over you.
I agree with you. I mean, not the shot they were hoping for, but he can really cause problems with his defense.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
You know, the Warriors took some flack when they passed on the chance to trade for Kevin Love, but I really think that the rise of Draymond Green as their stretch 4-man made the decision even better and also kept their cap situation far more flexible.
First free throw is good. And Draymond Green won't give you the superstar numbers of a Kevin Love, but He's got a deceptive impact, Clark, at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I call him a value utility guy because he does a little bit of everything that brings value to your quest to win. His shooting has steadily gotten better, and while he's not an all-star yet, some of his total contributions on the floor, impressive.
Ellis, that's good. Here's Curry. Look at the clock, a little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. The drive by Thompson. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Here's Stuckey. Ellis outside. Down low. Here's Mahimi. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Andrew Bogut. That's foul number 2 for him.
Yeah, clearly he had an established position there.
Yeah, and I like this call because you want the refs in that situation. If there's any doubt, err on the side of giving the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player. That should have been a block, and it was.
George Hill's checked in for Rodney Stuckey. It's Hill on the wing, guarded by Curry. George with no one around. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. And now it's 27 points for Paul George. Go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Steve Kerr was going over with his team. He told them it's time to fight and take the lead. Let's put ourselves in position to bring it home. Guys, we'll see if they've got what it takes to get it done.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. Screen by Bogut. Right side Curry. Off the screen. Misses off the right iron. Pacers leading by 5. Here's Ellis. Green with the rebound. Green's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Plenty of space. And that one's good. Now here is Hill. To the middle. Here's Mahimi. And he slams it one-handed.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here if he shattered the backboard.
Now here's Ellis after the miss from Stephen Curry. But they recover it, and it's Miles missing. Curry kicks to Green. That 3 off the mark.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, you hope that's not indicative of the type of D they're going to play, because if they do, they're going to have struggles with him tonight.
Now here's Ellis. Dishes it to George. Great D that time from Green. Warriors trail by 5. Thompson passes to Curry. From deep, Green. And the Warriors miss again.
And you know what? If you're the defense, you got him right where you want him. Let him keep shooting those threes, because he's been brutal in this half.
George against Curry. The drive by Green, and he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Indiana again missing.
And that's not the best of shot selection there. The defense definitely won that possession.
Yeah, I think in that case, you've got to go elsewhere with the ball. You just can't rise up over the top of him when he's on you.
Now, here is Hill. Ellis with a screen on Curry. Out of bounds. Pacers ball as Indiana keeps possession. And here's George. There's the pick. Shot clock at 6. And a wide open look here for Ellis. Again, the miss by Ellis. Warriors trail by 3. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going.
Excellent feed from Steph Curry.
Here is Hill after the made shot from Klay Thompson. Puts it up from 12. George, no good. Thompson against Ellis to take the lead. Right side Curry. Here's Thompson. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead. Indiana's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the 4th. The feed to George. They set the pick.
That's his 3rd personal foul, 3rd team foul.
And so here is Indiana. They lead by 1. Miles dishes to Hill. Clock at 6. There's the double team with Bogut. Here's Mahinmi. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
What a night so far for Mahinmi. He's got 13 rebounds and 15 points.
At the line for your Pacers, Young Mahinmi. At the line for 2.
The first one falls. What a year for the Warriors. Clark won their division for the first time in 39 years, ran away with the very tough Western Conference.
And there were a number of surprises last season, Kevin, but the Warriors were at the top of the list. I mean, I don't think anybody, including you and I, pegged them to be as good as they were.
Especially the way the finals began.
Exactly.
He doesn't get the second one.
And the Warriors won 51 games back in 2014, improved that mark by 16 wins last season. Among teams that won at least 50 games in the previous year, that 16-game improvement was an NBA record for the Warriors.
Hill drives in. Warriors with the rebound.
And since halftime, he has just been ice cold. Just can't seem to get anything to go his way. And he's clearly been the best rebounder on the floor today.
And the numbers back it up, Greg. I mean, he's brought his hard hat and mean mentality to the glass with him today. It goes without saying the Warriors set franchise records all over the place with their play. Their win total being the highest ever, but also of note was it was the first time they've won 50 games in back-to-back seasons. They seem to truly have arrived as a top-notch franchise in this current state of the NBA.
The Warriors making a switch here. Iguodala's checked in. And George drops them both. The Indiana Pacers had a solid season last year, given they were without their star for most of it. They played well at home.
Yeah, even without Paul George, they were in contention. How about 23-18 at home, which is really a solid mark when you consider they didn't have their two best players from a season ago.
Good. Now Hill. He dishes it to Mahinmi. It's back to Hill. Kicks it to Mahinmi. It's stolen by Bogut. Here's Curry on the wing. Thompson. Back to Curry. Screen by Bogut. Curry against Hill. Just 5 on the clock. Curry's shot is good. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Warriors.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. They've been in attack mode on the defensive end.
You know, adding on to that, you look at their block totals tonight, and you see how feisty they've been on the defensive end this game.
Here's Hill, following the basket by Stephen Curry. There's the double team with Bogut. That's good, and the Warrior lead is cut down to just 1 on the basket from Miles.
That's a brain freeze right there from the entire defense. Now is not the time to lose your focus.
Pass to Green. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in. And that's 21 points for Draymond Green.
Yeah, saw some things that just weren't working for them and wants to make some adjustments.
Yeah, and no reason to wait around to do that, Greg. I mean, you might as well make those adjustments right away.
Feeds to George. Lets it go from the wing, and right through it goes. George has got 11 in the second half.
He's so clutch, Kevin. When the pressure is at its highest, that's when he's at his very best.
Here we go, Pacers fans. Now putting on the court are your defense.
Here's Curry. Screen by Bogut. Curry kicks to Thompson. 1:44 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Bogut, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. First free throw is good, and that will put them up by 2. Break is his second attempt at the line. No good.
Well, I mean, a semi-productive trip to the free throw line, but we'll see whether or not it costs him. Yeah, beautiful play on the interior. They're just using the height advantage to lay the ball up and in when they really needed that basket.
Paul George really making a difference here.
He's on fire, and they needed to put their heads together to figure out how to get the ball out of his hand.
.31 left to play in the final quarter. Offensive rebound, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Take a look at what Curry's done. He has 20 points and 13 assists. He's shown some flash with his passing and some grit with his board work.
Yeah, not a combination that too many players in our league possess.
Good on the first, and that gives them the lead. So both free throws are good, and it's a 2-point ball game.
He is absolutely the guy you want at the line in that situation. It just shows you how much he loves these moments.
On the wing. And that one's good. George has got the game tied up here for the Pacers.
Big time bucket there, and you can expect to see him stay very involved the rest of the way.
The 11-footer. No good from Bogut. Indiana's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the fourth. Hill, no good. Golden State's gone a disappointing 2 of 6 on 3-point attempts here in the fourth. Curry with it. George picks him up. George against Curry. He feeds it to Bogut. To the paint. It's good.
Boy, what a pressure bucket that was.
Greg, now that's coming through in the clutch.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And they had a foul to give, but you want to use it on the ground.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but at least they did get the clock stopped. That is the one saving grace of that situation.
All right, now, take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
He hits the first one, and that narrows the gap to 1. And both free throws good for Paul George.
And that's how you do it. Free throws can make a huge difference in a tight game.
And Thompson kicks to Curry. Back to Thompson. 27 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Here's Hill. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you can hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
At the line for your Pacers, George Hill. At the line for 2.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
He sinks the clutch free throw. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 2-point ball game.
Those are some big-time heroics at the stripe. A little bit of defense, and they can put this one in the win column.
Seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Green, the screen. Stolen by Ellis. Pass to George. And they foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point.
That's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Yeah, they have to extend the game. I mean, plain and simple. Use every second you can on the clock here.
At the line for 2.
It's the first, and that makes it a 3-point lead. Second one is good. Hitting both at the line, and it's a 4-point ball game.
No mistakes there. I think you can close the book on this one, guys. It's done.
On the wing, Thompson. That 3 off target had some space there after the little pump fake. So a close game sees Indiana take this one. Probably a little closer than they would have liked it, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, and it appeared to me as though the fans gave them the emotional boost they needed down the stretch, Kevin. This crowd was not going to let this one slip away.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Paul, how does a win like this impact the team's attitude going forward?
Confidence. It's always good to get a win, but it definitely gives us confidence and keeps us wanting to work even harder because this one almost slipped away from us.
Paul, congratulations, guys. A hard-working team is a dangerous team.
All right, Doris, great job. Thanks so much. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. Now we'll head over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson, who's not too far away. EJ?
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Many thanks, Kevin. So now we move on to our Jordan player of the game, Paul George. He had just an outstanding fourth quarter performance. He really had the fire lit under him, and down the stretch, really having a huge impact on the outcome of this game.
Well, Paul George showing us again tonight why he is one of the premier wing players in the NBA. We know that defensively he's always going to do the job, but he's just as valuable on the other end, scoring off the catch or the dribble.
Well, everyone wanted to come play hard tonight, but I thought the job he did was remarkable. The defending champs do not go down easily. It was an impressive performance to beat them tonight. I must say I'm very impressed. But he kept at it, both ends of the floor, shouldering the scoring load. He was on his game.
And folks, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We hope you enjoyed the game. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Have a good evening.